time is static. A minute is always going to be a minute, and a year is always going to be a year. For your perception of time and how you spend time is ever-changing. So how do you measure time? The time we have left, the time that has passed, and the time that is happening right now as I speak. Rent says we can measure a year 2 ways. We can measure a year in minutes out of 525,600, or we can measure a year in love. A little over a year ago, I was in a very bad car accident that probably most of you don't know about, which is great. I'm thankful of that every day because it means I walked away with no physical damage and no mental damage. I won't go into detail, but it basically was my little Ford Ranger versus a semi going about 70 miles an hour, and we hit damn near head on. And I can't remember a moment of it, which is great. My mind basically was like, I don't want you to ever remember this. But unlike some people say, my life didn't flash before my eyes, but it did change my life forever. As you know, I've always wanted to become a veterinarian. It's been a dream of mine since I can remember. And because of that, I was always the type A student, the person always spending time in the library, too much time in the library when I should have been out enjoying life. I was always trying to get that A on the exam or the 4.0 in class. And it stressed me out to no end, like Morgan's speech. But after the accident, I received a box of Get Well Soon cards and I'm Thinking of You cards, and one of them was for my friend and coworker Kenan, and on the front was a ridiculous organic chemistry molecule, and he asked me to name it, and it was to make me laugh, and it was true. It was like some ridiculous, crazy thing, but on the inside it simply said, some things are more important than A's, and that changed my life. I did not reach my current happiness that you all know instantly. Last summer, I spent most of my time recovering and just trying to be happy again. I was trying to find the drive and motivation to not only apply to vet school, like I had always planned, which I was doubting would happen, and I also had 2 classes I still had to finish from the previous semester. So I came back to school taking about 21 credits of classwork, organic chemistry and quantitative analysis all at one time, and somehow I finished and applied to veterinary school all in a month of the beginning of school. And after that, I hit my quarter-life crisis, which my friends think is hilarious, and I turned into a yes man. And I live now by the motto that there is more important things in life than A's. I am always trying to do stuff that makes me happy, to live in the moment, to try new things, and to meet new people, and most importantly, to make a positive impact on other people's lives. I stopped saying phrases like, I'll take a rain check, or we can do that tomorrow, or we can do that later, because we might not have tomorrow, and we might not have later. I don't regret my life before the accident, but I'm glad I hit my quarter-life crisis when I did, because I've become a much happier person, and a lot has changed. For example, like simple things like walking to class. A lot of people are on their phones, not paying attention to life, whereas now I walk to class and I'm enjoying the scenery and the life around me and always smiling at strangers walking by that probably think I'm weird because I'm looking them straight into the eyes. But I'm always trying to do something out of my comfort zone. For example, I went on a blind date for the first time in my life that I never, ever, ever would have done before my quarter-life crisis. And now I'm still dating him, and I think he still likes me. So I'm so grateful I did that. And yeah, most importantly, I try and be positive. I always try and go to bed on a happy note and not angry with anyone or anything, or frustrated, and that has helped me become a happier person and have healthier relationships and healthier mind and body and soul for myself. So I learned the hard way that life can change in a split second. You can't predict when it's going to happen or to whom it's going to happen to. And I'm not suggesting that we live our lives in fear, but we should live our lives in the moment. So how do you measure time? Do you measure it by the A's you get, by that 4.0? Or do you measure it by like minutes you play video games or text messages you send or time out traveling or being out in the wilderness? Because our time here on earth is finite, and we know that, but we just don't know when it's going to end. And so I think we should live every day like it's our last, and we should measure time in love. Not romantic, mushy-gushy love, but doing things you love with people you love in places you love.